My peach has Tephrinia deformans, also known as peach leaf curl. Now, the other day I was walking past where my peaches are and I noticed some of the leaves were looking a little funky, off, discolored, overall just generally strange. And so when I took a closer look, they were kind of curled and raised and red and all the things that made me go, what's happening? Hi everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you are new here, my name is Gracia. If you are not new, welcome back. So I want to talk to you about what peach leaf curl is exactly. So it is a fungus that basically gets into the pores, or where the leaf buds and the fruit buds come out of the tree in its dormant state. It gets into those little areas, I don't even know what they're called, like the little nodes where the flowers swell from, the buds swell from basically. And the temperatures have to be pretty ideal for this to occur. The temperatures have to be pretty cool, wet, and between like 40, I think it's like 47 to 61 degrees for this to happen, and for, you know, an extended period of time. And that has been the weather here in San Diego when this thing started budding out. The weather was cold, it was wet, almost unusually so, a little bit more than normal. So I think that is how they ended up with this disease. So it has to be the ideal situation, and that was just my luck. So my peach trees have been in the ground for 2 years. This one not so much, because this one actually got chewed up by a gopher last year. So I dug it out of the ground, put it into a grow bag, and with the hopes that it would regrow some roots, and it did, which made me very, very happy. I don't know if that's why this one got it the worst, but you know, it is what it is, and I have to now deal with this. So and for some reason this tree, there may not be any hope for this tree because it's dying from like the top down, and I'm not sure why. I don't think that has anything to do with the fungus itself, but that just may be a secondary problem with this peach tree, that it has something else going on. But let me pull off one of these leaves here and show you what it looks like, and then I'll give you a close-up look into the tree. But basically, that is what it looks like. That's how you know you have it. And you don't actually know that you have it until it's too late basically, and the leaves have already started forming. And the only time that you can really get rid of it, or the best time to get rid of it, or the only time to get rid of it, is once the tree goes dormant again. You have to spray it twice with either a copper or a sulfur fungicide. And basically you have to wait till the leaves fall off of the tree and spray it. And they say to just drench this thing until it's dripping to the ground. And so then the second time that you would do it is right before it buds out, to kill the spores from coming back once the tree starts to bloom. So the best times for that would be late November, early December, right around Thanksgiving, and then the second time early February or right around Valentine's Day. This does affect the leaves, the fruit, the shoots, the flowers, pretty much everything on this. And if you don't take care of it, it will just get worse. So, and I don't think it's a very good idea to just pull off all the infected leaves, because it needs leaves to basically produce energy for the fruit. So it is not a good idea to pull off all the infected leaves. But I'm going to bring you in close to my peach tree and show you a little bit closer what's going on. If you look here, you can see how all of these leaves are red and almost have like wart-like raised sections on them. It's actually really like weird. That is how you know that you have this fungus. And I think once it reaches like 70 degrees, it pretty much kills the spread of this fungus. So I don't think it's going to get any worse this year. And then you can see I've got some peaches growing on this tree. I am just going to let this tree do its thing and see what happens as far as these fruits are concerned. But my bigger concern is this. And like I said, I don't think this has anything to do with that disease because the other tree that's got the disease doesn't look like this. So I am not sure. And it's got like sap coming out of it. So I'm going to have to look that up too and see what that's all about. But yeah, there's sap coming out of the top of this. And if you look, it's just, these leaves are dying and these branches look dead. So this tree right here may be a goner. I certainly hope not, because like I said, I was so proud when I got this thing to grow roots again. And I really don't know what the best option to do with this is right now. I'm going to definitely do some more research and see if it's salvageable. I'll show you the other peaches really quick, but I do want to touch on plums. I have a plum tree. So here is my plum tree right here. And then here is the peach that's mostly affected. And I was concerned that the disease could transfer over to my plum tree, but that is not the case. It cannot be transferred to the plum. What can happen though is you can get something that looks similar, and that's actually leaf curl aphids. And that's where the insect gets underneath the leaf and the leaves will curl in on themselves because of all the aphids. And that's hard enough to treat because, again, you have to treat it and you have to actually make contact with the bug itself. And because the leaf curls in on itself, it's not so easy to do from what I understand. So I am no longer worried about it affecting this tree, but I will show you my other peaches. So again, here's the bad tree. And then here is this peach tree. And this one looks really good, except for a spot there. And I think there might be one other spot on here. You know, like right here. But I've got some nice little peaches on there. So I think that one's going to be all right. And then I have this third one here, and I don't think this one has anything on it. Oh. And that might be a little bit right there. But for the most part, this one is looking good. Now, I hope that you will leave me something down in the comments below kind of clarifying, but I have seen that either, yes, this can spread by overhead watering when the red leaf or the infected leaf turns a gray color. That's like the spores of the fungus. And if it's windy or if it's rains or if there's like an overhead watering, it will disperse those spores and they can be transferred that way. But then I've also seen that once it gets to this point, it's not spreadable anymore. So I don't know. Somebody leave it down below your experience, but I do know that this fungus can decimate your crops if it's not taken care of. So I am definitely going to be treating this when the plant goes dormant sometime in November and again in February, because I work too damn hard for these things to be infected and I want to eat peaches off of them. So, which I'm sure you can appreciate. So fingers crossed that I can get this under control. And if you've ever had experience with dealing with peach leaf curl, leave me some words of encouragement down below, some comments. I'd love to hear that it actually that you actually got rid of it and things were okay for your tree. These are very, very young trees, so I can only hope. But that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you next time. Bye.